Okay, so here's a video I didn't really plan on making because once again, it's new gun day. Now, what gun is it? Well, it's the gun that everyone has been talking about all last year, not so much now. I picked up a Sig 365. Because this one is loaded. Let me get this out of here. Now, why did I pick up this gun when I already have this gun? Perfectly good Shield 9mm. Also got a little fiber optic sights on this, True Glow fiber optic sights, Apex trigger. Why would I pick up a Sig? Well, one, because I just like new things, but also two is I carry I went through my whole thing with what all my guns are, and program compliance and everyday carry type of thing. For purposes of my job, I feel I need to carry a certain firearm, and a 380 just isn't enough for me. So 9mm is my choice of carry. And if I'm going to carry something all day and have to conceal it all day wearing a suit and wear it on my hip all day or on a shoulder holster, I want it to be as small and light as possible. And yeah, I'm only picking up maybe a few ounces from here to here, but the Sig is also considerably smaller. I don't know if I could really give you an idea of it. The Sig is smaller and a little bit lighter. I'm going to do weights and measures a little bit later. So I figured, you know what, might as well just get one of these things. And also a high capacity. I'm not really a high capacity guy. I mean, I think that the 7+1 in here, there's an empty magazine. The 7+1 in here is going to be enough. But if I'm going to be able to go from 8 to 11 and shrink the gun and make it lighter, then in that case, yeah, why not carry 11 when you can? So all that aside, I'm probably going to well, not probably, I already bought the damn gun. I went with this. Not to say that this was a bad gun. This was a great gun. This is a gun I bought when I was still active in the NYPD. I chose this gun because they gave us a very limited amount of choices. I wanted a single stack small gun, and this is what I went with. And I don't regret the choice. It was great. But I think this one is going to be my way to go. It is a lot smaller, a lot easier to conceal. Now, what about this Sig? And again, in a package this size, 11 rounds. I would have to go this big for an 8+1 for 9 rounds. I mean, now it's just getting ridiculous. You know what I mean? What are we even talking about here with the size of these two guns? And as we know, this is the part that's hardest to conceal. So, this Sig 365. Now, as far as what I've seen so far on this thing, this has an Apex trigger, this Shield, and it's a nice trigger. It is sweet. Sweet preset, the True Glow sights, I do love it. But this comes out of the box with night sights in it. That's not bad. And this is really a nice trigger. I've never owned a Sig Sauer before, but if they were all like this, I could see why they're successful. This is a really phenomenal trigger. Now I'm not gonna include shooting on the end of this video because really, you need to see me. I can't shoot stuff like you guys do in the free state. So you can basically have range footage of me, shooting a Sig 365, which I think has been done to death. I think in the hierarchy of most prevalent videos, I think it's cats cleaning your Glock 19 and then people shooting a fucking Sig 365. However, I will take some footage when I do go take it to the range, in case something happens. This gun does have some warts in its past, although I made sure to get one with a fresh born on date. I think this thing was April or May of 2019 this gun was made, so I'm hoping all the problems have been worked out of it. But if something goes weird, you'll be the first to hear it from me. There is one thing I'm going to say about it before I kind of cut away. A few features of it besides about the night sights and that nice trigger on there. 10 round magazine. It has the extended pinky thing. I'm not an extended pinky guy. I never use that extended gun. I never use this extended magazine on my Shield. And this is why. A lot of you guys, you see a lot of shield videos out there. And a lot of you tactical Tommies, and I love it. You guys are great. You guys love your shields. I think I mentioned this before. You put that extended thing out there. I can get, a 10-round magazine on here, and I put this thing on the front and that thing on the thing. And I think I even said it once. If you're going to buy a gun that's made for concealed carry, and you're going to jam so much shit on it that it's as big as a Glock 19, it's as big as a Glock 19, then why don't you just fucking carry a Glock 19? It's one of the best fucking guns ever made. If you're going to make your concealed carry gun this big, then carry this. This is 15+1. It's like one of the best designs ever. This thing, it's bulletproof. That's quite a pun, but, seriously. So that's why, for me, I want to carry the gun with its regular magazine in it, which is why this is what I'm going to do with this. I'm not going to, yeah, it's small. But with hands like mine, every concealed carry, every compact gun I've ever owned, I'm dangling a pinky off the thing. I mean, I didn't have so much grip on my friggin' service gun, for Christ's sakes. Okay, so this feels very comfortable in my hand. I'm not concerned with that. It has the front slide serrations, which again. Is that a thing? Is that still a thing? A press check? I need to do that to tell if my gun is loaded. I mean, I guess you guys love it. More power to you. Who am I to judge? I don't think they look particularly good, but some guys love them. I've never used them. I don't intend to use them. We were trained over the backstrap thing. We didn't really do this in the department. Front slide serrations. All right. Hey, if it blows your skirt up, it's all good, babe. This proprietary rail, I was running a second generation Glock 19, so we had nothing there. In fact, I don't think I've owned a gun with a rail. This is a proprietary rail, so I guess only Sig accessories will go on. And I think it came with the box. I don't do unboxing videos. It came with a nice plastic box and nice instructions and everything, and an advertisement for some of the things. I think it has a laser and a flashlight. You're talking to somebody who doesn't even want to run a pinky lip magazine because I don't want to add size to this gun. Am I really going to put a laser or a flashlight on this? No, I'm not. Again, if all you have is one gun and this is your gun for nightstand, home defense, carry, you know what? A flashlight on the front of a home defense gun or a nightstand gun is a phenomenal idea. Putting a flashlight on something that's meant to be small and stuck in your pants, I will never do that. I'm just like a press check. I will never put a flashlight on a gun this small. It kind of defeats the purpose. Another thing I've noticed about this gun that I'm not in love with, I will say that, maybe it'll work in. Here's my shield. I'm sorry I can't get the angle here, but as we all know with shields, you're gonna lock that thing, you're gonna flip that lever down, you're gonna let it go forward, you're gonna pull a trigger. Again, it's not an issue for me pulling a trigger. It really isn't. And off you come. Okay? Very easy to take down, field strip, whatever you want to call it, goes back together real easy. What I've noticed about this thing is the same type of thing. You're going to lock that slide to the rear, and it has kind of a this takedown lever here, and it certainly looks nice. But I'll be honest with you, that is not pleasant at all. I'm sure it'll work in though. Actually, that was easier than it's been the last 10 times I've done it. So maybe that's a sign it's working in. But for those of us who are the biggest thing in the world, you don't got to pull a trigger to get it off. Does that matter to me? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I went to my Glock cleaning video and you saw that I've been pulling triggers on semi-autos to get them apart for decades. Pull a trigger, don't pull a trigger. Who cares? I think people said also sometimes this thing can go back and you got to flip this up to get it down. Not really. It's only happened to me once, but again, putting it back together is simplicity itself. You lock it back. You put your lever back up, and there you go. So that was actually my biggest complaint, but it looks like now that it's working in, the only thing I'm going to keep you guys posted on is how this thing functions, its longevity. If it starts to show excessive wear, if it starts to, obviously the firing pin breaks, but. Overall, I like the size of it. I noticed there are some weird things already a little about it. Like can you get that little thing up there? Haven't even fired the gun yet. This has just been racking. I haven't dropped it, haven't done anything. So we're going to keep an eye on how this thing holds up. But I like it. I'm carrying it strictly because it lets me go down in size and weight from this. We'll see how much size and weight on this next segment when I start showing you my measurements on it, and it lets me carry 11 rounds instead of 7 or 8 or 9. Okay, so let's go to the weights and measures, and then I'll finish up with some final thoughts. Okay, now on to the weights and measures portion of our program. First, we're going to go with my program compliance gun. Empty, no magazine, coming in at 9.5 ounces for the LCP2. And now a loaded LCP2, 6+1, 13.3 ounces, ready to go. Next up, my new Sig 365, empty. 16.3 ounces empty. And now we go with loaded, 10 plus 1. 23 ounces on the nose for a loaded 365. On to my unloaded shield. This is the 1.0 version. 18.4 ounces unloaded, no magazine. And now loaded, 7 plus 1. 24.1 ounces fully loaded. And one more for fun. Here's the old shield again with the extended magazine. 8+1. 24.8 ounces. And now, just for giggles, with a throwback machine, my trusty old Glock 90. My Glock 26, coming in empty, no magazine at 19.4 ounces. And now let's go for the loaded weight of the old Glock 26, the old brick, also a 10+1, comes in at 26.5 ounces. And now, weights aside, from left to right is the shield, that incredibly wide, chunky Glock 26, the Sig 365, and the Ruger LCP2, which is a 380, obviously. Give you a real-world example of what these things really looking like. I lined them up to the back of the slide. What the hell? This guy changed his shirt right in the middle of the video? Actually, just a couple of days later. Again, this is a hobby for me, so videos like this take a while to do. But you would just went through the weights and measures portion of our program if my schedule for this is still on track. As you see, I don't own calipers, so if you want exact measurements, go to one of the professional gun channels, because I ain't doing that. I just wanted to give you a bit of a visual of them all in comparison, and also to just give you an idea of what they weigh. So, what did I gain with this? Did I gain a couple of ounces, and a lot of that weight, I mean, it came with only within an ounce or so of the shield here. But remember, that's a shield with 7 rounds in it. This is a Sig with 11 rounds in it. Oh wait, 7+1, yeah, 8 rounds in it. This is a shield with 11 rounds in it. Believe it or not, that ammo is going to add to its weight, and if it still comes in lighter for having that capacity. And I'm not a capacity Carl, just like I'm not a tactical Tommy. As I went into, I'm never going to attach anything to this gun. But what I am going to say is I'm probably going to make this part 1 of part 2. I think I will include shooting on this, because I also want to go to range and follow up on, make a second portion. I remember that video I made about nightstand guns and 357 and 44 and things of that nature. I think I'm going to actually make a shooting video about follow-up shots and how quickly you get a follow-up shot. Suppose if you grab a 44 off your nightstand, or a 357, or a 38 plus P, or a 9mm. A shot placement is key, and follow-up shots are important also. Maybe that big 44, maybe even that 357 is too much recoil, so I'll make that a separate video. But I think I will attach a part 2 that shows how this thing does at the range. So, last thoughts on it. Again, I work in Manhattan, and I work in a place, not to get too much into my personal business, I work in a place that, in a city that's full of terrorist targets, I work in an area that's probably one of the top 5 targets for either a mass shooter or a coordinated terrorist attack on the Eastern Seaboard. So, whereas I think that carrying a 380 in my pants, 7 rounds of 380 is great when you get the surprise factor. You have to understand, if I get jumped by a meth head walking out of a supermarket, he's going to expect me, because we live in a communist state, he's going to expect me to be unarmed, because the progressive politics here make sure that honest, law-abiding citizens are unarmed and helpless. He's going to expect me to be unarmed, so anything that come out with, any firearm come out, there's going to be a surprise. And 1 or 2 shots of 380 in the face is probably going to end that encounter. But for a mass shooting situation or coordinated terrorist attack, capacity and caliber do play into a little bit, and this gives me the most bang for the buck. I'm always going to run it. I'm always going to run it with this grip, with this magazine, to keep it small. I don't believe in adding things to tiny guns that are meant to be concealed. I'm actually a little kind of upset that this second magazine has that lip on it. I don't want that. It's just it's supposed to be small. This is the pocket holster that came with my LCP2. It fits in a holster designed for a 380 to carry 7 rounds. So 11 rounds of 9mm. Small is the key. I'll deal with the dangling pinky. I'll deal with, is it a little more difficult to change a magazine? Am I really changing a magazine with this? Maybe, maybe not, but small is key. So that's all on this until I get it to the range. And again, I'm going to keep you abreast of this little wear mark here. Let's see if these things really do self-destruct after a few hundred rounds. That's going to be it for now. While I have the attention, maybe with some comments from my 12 subscribers, give me an idea. What should I do with this? And no, I'm not pointing a loaded gun on my head. Let's double check. What am I going to do with this gun? Look at those fiber optic sights. It's a great gun. I put the aftermarket trigger on it. The shield is a really nice gun, except that now it's become redundant. It's this, but a little heavier and with less capacity. So do I just keep it? I don't know. I mean, I like guns and everything, but I don't like having copies of each other. And two guns that do the same job, I'd rather trade this in and get like a 22 or something, or single action, my first single action revolver, something different. I always like the back of my permit card. If you don't know what a carry permit in New York looks like, it lists all the guns in the back of it. And I always got a kick out of it. Before I bought this one, I had all different calibers, except for the this is my other 9mm. Now I got 3 9mm. There's too many 9mm. I like to spread it around. Maybe I'll get a 10 or something, or 20s. I got to find a different caliber. Maybe 357 Sig or something. I don't know. But let me know what I should do with this. Keep it in a safe. Look at it. Trade it in. I don't know. Anybody want to buy it? And I guess, one last thing. And I'm rambling now. But one last thing, since I brought this out. This, as you know, is my Glock 19. I carried this on duty for... not for 28 years. I transitioned from the revolver to this in 1994, so about 24 years or so. This was my service pistol, and it's a Generation 2, and is one of the most reliable guns I've ever experienced. I've never had in contact with. This gun was rock solid reliable, and I've made mention of that in my past videos. I've noticed, I had kind of a sad moment. I've noticed my last qualification cycle before I retired from the NYPD. In the course of firing 150 or 200 rounds we fired that day, I had a double feed. All right, we use a Spear Gold Dot, in the NYPD, 124 grain, jacketed hollow point plus P, good quality rounds. So it happens. It's going to happen. It's an old gun. On my last qualification cycle to get my civilian permits all in order, with only 50 rounds, it double feed again. So I'm thinking, wow, I guess that's a failure to extract, right? It's picking up some unreliability issues, and it was sad. It's kind of looking at it like, any of you guys are dog owners out there? I had a dog, nice big Labrador Retriever. He was a great dog, had him from a puppy. And that first time for you guys, I have a dog for its entire life. Dogs are all little tragedies waiting to happen, by the way. you have a dog for your entire life, and you see him from puppy to a young dog to go through prime of his health, and then he starts getting old, gets a little gray around the muzzle, and the first time you see him struggle to get up, or the first time you see him, like, not hear something, everything's like, oh man, the dog's on his way out. That kind of sucks. It's a sad moment. It was kind of a sad moment for this. When the gun is 24 years old or 25 years old, it's a quarter of a century old. She's starting to wear out. So what I did was I actually went to the Glock store. They don't give me anything. I bought it. They don't even know I exist. Went to the Glock store and I bought a new extractor. I just switched that out. And I also, just for the hell of it, to give it the best chance I could possibly have. Ow. Give it the best chance I could possibly have. I got a tungsten guide rod to get rid of that 25-year-old plastic spring and guide rod assembly that was in there. So maybe it'll cycle a little truer, and with the new extractor, I could add some life to it. You see, the good thing about guns as opposed to dogs is that guns are inanimate objects. You could probably keep them going much longer by just replacing parts. You can't really place a part on a dog. So hopefully, this one keeps going. This is one of the few sentimental value firearms I own. Everything else is kind of, I'll swap it in and out depending, This one I'm going to keep along with my original service revolver. So I'll keep you updated on this too. Maybe I'll put a few rounds through this on my next shooting video also. So I think that's about enough rambling. I'll give you my range review of my new Sig 365 as soon as I get it. Just remember, just because the part 2 of this video might come out around Christmas doesn't mean I waited till Christmas to shoot this. It's just, this is getting to the range in New York and filming it. It kind of sucks, but we do what we can. Thanks for your views. Let me know what to do with the shield, and we'll see you in the part 2.